I have these lucid Hey guys, so recently Juice WRLD's estate dropped an awesome posthumous album called The Party Never Ends. A really sweet love letter to Juice WRLD's legacy. Just kidding. So what was attempted to be done here was make this look like it's one final party for Juice WRLD, but instead it just comes off as this distasteful, messy album of demos that doesn't fit together at all and adds annoying, upbeat, poppy songs to what could be nothing or something more interesting. Firstly, I'm going to talk about that upbeat vibe throughout the whole album. So obviously they're trying to make it a party. The party never ends. However, every song feels so soulless. Like there was no effort put into this album. It's just demos and beats slapped together and they were like, oh yeah, let's put this out. That'll get the money. That'll milk Juice WRLD's legacy. There's just a plethora of forgettable and unremarkable tracks that I'm not going to cover because why do it track by track when these tracks aren't real effort-filled tracks? This is partially due to uninspired production throughout the album. There's really no moment on this album that I can capture the melody in my ear, remember, and care about. But also the lyricism is so unfocused and forgettable. This is probably due to the fact that these were just demos. These were vault tracks that Juice WRLD probably did in one or two takes. He doesn't really write. He just kind of raps, and that's what builds such a large catalog for these artists. So very minimal writing leads to demos where he picks his favorites. But obviously if he's not picking his favorites and his estate is picking favorites, it's just crap being shoved out there that Juice WRLD probably doesn't really care for. Obviously these are demos, which is why it probably equates to nothing, because when you slap a beat and a demo together, it doesn't move me at all. Lyrically, there is some just weak stuff throughout here. Obviously Juice WRLD is not known as a high quality lyricist in the rap game, but he at least functions. There are memorable songs, Lucid Dreams and Wishing Well, where he carries these hooks that are very memorable, but this whole album there is just nothing memorable about anything he's writing about. And there are some really standout moments of horrible writing on this album. I treat her like some eggs, leave her scrambled, she can't handle, I destroy the pussy in the bedroom, I'm a vandal, bussin' in her soup can like she got Campbell's. That is a rough lyric. We also have this atrocious lyric, which I don't know why this was put out to the world. Bae, let's have a conversation. My crotch, your twat. That is tasteless. That whole song is very misogynistic. I don't know why they want to capture that part of Juice WRLD's image. And then we have one section I'm not going to read out where he rhymes boyfriend with boyfriend with boyfriend with boyfriend with boyfriend. And it stands out like a sore thumb. Also, there's a moment on this album where he says the hard R and it's just very jarring and kind of funny. Just caught me off guard. Thought I'd mention it. There's also a flow on this album where he's just like, and it's just so bland and annoying. It sounds like that really crummy Future track that came out in this recent mixtape. And then now I'm going to talk about the features because they mostly suck. First, you have All Girls Are the Same Too, which kind of teased this album, where Nicki's part is just not very good. It sounds poorly punched in. There's really nothing memorable about her verse. And then you have Lace It, where Eminem is featured. Eminem's verse is not good. The storytelling is kind of mid. His flow is choppy and annoying. On the topic, where he's warning people about the effects of drugs using a plethora of examples, but it just feels so unfocused, written really quickly, and they're trying to put it through Eminem's lens, maybe due to the struggle he personally went through, but also due to the struggle Juice went through. It just doesn't come out as a very heartfelt warning. This verse is really bad. Fall Out Boy on Best Friend, where Fall Out Boy is just completely out of place on the song. They turned the song from poppy to really poppy. Why is Fall Out Boy even a consideration for a feature? It doesn't make sense. I want to talk about Kid Leroy's song on this album. Yes, this is a Juice WRLD album, but Kid Leroy gets his own song. It's a little distasteful to do this purely because of the fact that if this is Juice WRLD's last album, putting a track from a different artist on the album that's supposed to be honoring Juice WRLD's legacy and giving us more Juice WRLD songs, that's going to piss off a lot of the fans, because if you're wasting a track space on something that's not Juice WRLD, it's a bit annoying. Now, I will say Kid Leroy saying goodbye to Juice WRLD here is a very heartfelt idea, because if you did not know, Kid Leroy was in the same airplane as Juice WRLD when Juice WRLD overdosed. In fact, Kid Leroy saw him have that seizure. So it's just a very jarring moment, and this is a goodbye song to Juice WRLD. This song doesn't really work because one, Juice WRLD's final album. Two, it just sounds a little phoned in. It doesn't really fit this, especially after Juice WRLD just named all these dead artists that he's honoring honoring, and then you just throw in a Kid Laroi song? It's a sweet idea, but it's not executed in the utmost best capacity. Overall, I think this album could have been handled better. Juice WRLD's battle with drugs is somewhat prevalent on the album, but it's often hindered by these very poppy and upbeat cuts where they're trying to make it a party, but it really shouldn't be a party, because there are some devastating tracks where Juice WRLD's talking about like his addiction to perk, but they just cover it up over an upbeat beat, and I don't get it. I mean, obviously Juice WRLD has had more upbeat songs, but still, something like Wishing Well that's upbeat still doesn't feel happy. It doesn't feel celebratory. It feels sad. I feel like a lot of the vibes just don't match on this album, and that's what makes it so forgettable. I would say this album is a disrespect to Juice WRLD and the music that he put out there, because this really just was put out for the money. The hype and promotion with Fortnite, obviously going back to chapter 2, capturing a lot of that younger fan base, and then making an album just to put out there to milk this whole event and this Juice WRLD collaboration. It's very scummy practice from his estate. It comes off as so insincere. They're putting music in our ears that we don't want. A lot of the fans are mad, not because it's new Juice WRLD that's poorly made, because they didn't get what they wanted. If you're making an album for the fans, a party to celebrate Juice WRLD, give the fans the tracks they wanted. I think there's a deluxe coming out where fans are voting on the tracks and leaks that they want. A lot of those leaks that fans wanted were not present on this album, which is another big issue with it. This album was handled carelessly. Everything felt a bit rushed. The beats felt rushed. The demos were put together sloppily. Even the promotion was a bit sus. I think the most effort put into anything regarding this album was the Juice WRLD event in Fortnite. Even the cover art is complete trash. From such a legendary artist who made Kids See Ghosts and Graduation, this just looks like complete effortless slop. And by effortless, I mean no effort was put in here. This album was handled carelessly. It's slop. I feel bad for Juice WRLD fans and for his legacy, because this really isn't something that people wanted. I'm not gonna give it a for sure rating, but it's probably a 1 or a 2. So yeah, posthumous music, really awesome stuff. I have these lucid dreams where I can move a thing.